The following program is intended for mature audiences.
Due to some violent content, parental discretion is advised.
Hello, this is Ryan Riccitelli with ASNews.net, and we are podcasting to you out of Corpus Christi, Texas. And, yep, that's right, we have our oceanfront studio. It's overlooking the bay, and it's a beautiful day today. The wind is firing, and actually, which brings in the waves. When the wind's firing, the wind swell just builds up, and actually the waves, in the next couple of days, when it kind of mellows out, it'll generate some, 3 to 4 foot surf, and believe it or not, like I keep telling you, there is a really fun little surf scene down here. So anyway, just want to say thanks to everybody, all the positive emails, all the positive notes. As it looks like we are podcasting out through 20 different countries, and it's probably more than that. It's just those are the ones that we can actually account for, and it's just I've seen people translating our press releases into Spanish and into Russian and into. We never thought that we would have the reach that we do, and really I got to attribute that to our affiliates. And our affiliates are out there really helping us get the word out, and I just want to thank some of the ones that are really making a difference, and that's Surfers Village, surfersvillage.com. They're great. Toesurfer.com, kiteforum.com, and Hang Loose. Hang Loose is a site over in the Netherlands that's really helping us push our message out. We've got iKiteboarding down in South Africa. So in a lot of these sites, they might be kiteboarding sites, but most people they think kiteboarders are only into kiteboarding, and that's totally ridiculous. Actually, most kiteboarders do all the action sports, and we know what we're doing. Also, if you haven't checked, we have our new ASNews.net player, and Paul and I put that together. Paul did all the coding on that, and that thing's pretty cool. All of our shows are there, and so you can actually just go on there, turn up your speakers, and listen. So it's very utilitarian, and I just think that I hope you guys enjoy it, and maybe you guys can give me some feedback on it. I just want to say also, thanks to the crew of people who've helped, put ASNews.net on the map, and that's Marina Chang, Jenny Dodge, Paul Lang, Alexis Rivera. All of you have been very instrumental in getting the news together and getting the message out, the press releases, and just making sure that this thing is running and firing. So this week we got a great lineup. We've got Campbell Farrell. He's a toe surfer. He's a legend. I consider him a legend because he's so soft spoken and just so humble about a guy goes out there and surfs 70 to 80 foot waves and puts his life on the line, and to hear him talk about the toe surfing scene, and actually there's a swell that's hitting, it's supposed to hit Maui, and I guess today it was like 20 feet out at Jaws, and there was guys riding, but he talks about it. He's talking about down in, being in the parking lot this morning and the issues, the crowd factor issues that are going on. So I think anyone who's interested in toe surfing or into windsurfing or you got to listen to what this guy has to say. And then also we have Bucky Ashcraft on this week, talking about Texas, the surf scene down here, and the kiting down here. And for any of you who want to come to a kiteboarding nirvana, listen to what Bucky has to say, because he has helped pioneer many of these spots, and he is in the loop down here, and this place is heaven for any kiteboarder. So he talks about that. He talks about, he's also he works for Reef Sandals. He's the guy who puts together the Reef Sandal, or the Reef Girl contest. So he talks a little bit about that too. So anyway, and some more news, just real quick, want to mention the Kiteboarder calendar. It's a 13-month calendar. It's available now at kbmag.com or kbcalendar.com. Also, we've got Liquid Mountains. That's our big wave surfing calendar, and that's available at bigwavecalendar.com. Also, you can go to toesurfer.com and find links to it. So Eric Akaskalian helped us with that. So anyway, also just this week, lostcherry.com. There's a lot going on there. I always drop Lost Cherry, but every week there's a new feature, and Lost Cherry, the latest feature is the mobile phone photo upload. And really, most people have to pay for this service, and you can do it for free at Lost Cherry. And really, you take a photo with your phone, and it emails straight to your account. And so, the whole service is free. There's also free music on there. You can actually, I just leave Lost Cherry in the background while I'm working on, other applications on my computer, and I just listen to music, I talk to people, I waste a lot of time. It's just a really cool, it's a cool site, it's a way to connect up with people, and it's free, and there's a lot of cool stuff that's being added. And right now, if you log in there, you can actually go to my account. I'm the Scrapper on there, that's my nickname, Scrapper. You can see a photo of Buckland. I actually was sitting out in front of Bucky's house the other day, and I just took a photo with my phone, and it went straight to my account. So check it out, lostcherry.com. And hey, thanks for dealing with all of our nonsense, and I hope you enjoy the show.
Howdy, y'all. This is Jenny Dodge, Lost Cherry Girl, and I am bringing you your action sports news for the week before Thanksgiving. Happy early Turkey Day, everybody. In kiting news, we have the South Padre Island, Texas Slingshot Regional Riders and all the new gear for 06. You just can't go to your grandma's house now. Spend Thanksgiving weekend, November 26th and 7th, in South Padre Island for the annual Slingshot product demo on all new 06 gear. Be one of the first to fly before buying the new turbo diesel for freeride, fuel for freeride, and octane for competition-style riding. Option 1, grab the wife and kids, pack the car. Drive 4 hours to your mom's house, eat dinner with your parents, and drive home fat and tired. Boring. Option 2, grab the wife and kids, pack the car, drive to South Padre, hook up with the guys at SPI Kiteboarding, leave the kids at Eddie Hall Trainer Kite Clinic, and you and the wife kite all day on the new 06 gear, trying to wipe the grin off your face, going home happy. Now, which sounds better to you? Here's the info. The Texas demo team will be there with all the latest Slingshot gear. Team members Laura Mayer, Slingshot board director John Doyle, Eddie Hall, Cliff Stone, and all the others will be at the beach with Demo 2006 octanes, fuels, turbo diesels, XS, and Misfit, and the new wave weapon, the SRT. Check in at SPI Kiteboarding for wind and location report. The X-rated Bahama Kite Race 2005 is November 28th to December 12th. Hutchinson Enterprises and X-Rated Kiteboarding is proud to present the first ever long-distance kiteboarding race from the U.S. to the Bahamas. This is the first of its kind, setting it apart from the usual repetitive format of freestyle jumps and tricks. There'll be a maximum of 50 athletes permitted to enter the event, all of which will be starting together and racing to Bimini in the Bahamas. This format will make for very unique and exciting footage for magazines, video, and television, while making history in the world's fastest-growing sport. Dozens of kiteboarders racing forward as athletes surf into another country through the Bermuda Triangle and across the blue waters of one of the largest currents in the world. This is sure to set the event apart from the other more routine water sports events. Let's see, moving on to snow, San Diego's Beanies and Bikinis is Saturday, November 19th. This Saturday, y'all. San Diego is proud to announce the first annual Beanies and Bikinis $10,000 snowboard best trick contest presented by Monster Energy Drink. It's at the Wave House in Belmont Park, Mission Beach, California. There's so much going on that day, I don't even know where to start. Let's check it out. Here's a breakdown. We got Bueno skateboards, an Access Wheels mini ramp demo, a snowboard practice, a $10,000 best trick snowboard contest. That's huge. Huge raffle, award ceremonies, all stuff going on in the night. Hey, there's a bikini contest, but you got to be at least 21 years of age. Let's see, what else? Moto X Electric proudly announces the newest member of the team, FMX freestyle rider Ronnie Feist. One of the most recognized names in motocross, Feist's accomplishments include 3 Gravity Games medals, top 10 finalists at every X Games since 2000, Metal Militia World Domination Tour, Tony Hawk's Boom Boom Huck Jam, Viva La Bam, and over 20 video parts, including his own DVD. Feist is a member of the notorious Metal Militia, as well as one of the most recognized personalities and pioneers in FMX. Tons of sponsors. His quote, 2006 is going to be a huge year. I'm pumped to be involved with Electric. The company is dope, and the goggles and shades are sick. Let's see, moving on to skates. Star skateboarder Andy McDonald hawks his board on the internet. In San Diego, hoping to influence a new generation of skateboarders, the X Game medalist recently began selling his Maxon skateboard on the internet for about half the usual price of a professional quality board. His reasoning is simple. He knows many kids can't afford to pay upward of $120 for a board at a skate shop, and he cringes when he sees them riding what he calls junk boards bought at mass merchandisers. The idea is to get kids excited about skateboarding, said McDonald, who spends times at skate parks when he's not flying over the half-pipe in competitions or on tour with Tony Hawk. The alternative now is if they can't afford to buy a board at a mom-and-pop shop, they buy rubbish from toy stores. Then they might not be so excited about it, and we've lost that kid as a skateboarder, and he goes on to ride BMX. Surfing, teenage rookie debuts in huge OP Pro Hawaii. The North Shore community and a throng of visitors came out in force for the opening day of the OP Pro Hawaii, showing their support for the youngest surfer to ever take on the Vans Triple Crown of surfing. 13-year-old John Florence, an 8th grader on the North Shore, made his debut in some of the most challenging conditions ever contested at Hawaii. 10 to 15-foot waves with a freight train current and strong offshore winds. Florence advanced through the first round with a solid performance in the morning's rising surf. Stylishly carving his way across double overhead-sized waves, John's style was sick. But the real challenge came in the afternoon's second round, when waves had more than doubled and he was faced with wave heights of 15 feet. At almost 5 feet tall and 90 pounds soaking wet, the conditions were beyond overpowering. John, it was a matter of having all the moves, but none of the weight to make it happen. That's sad. He ends up finishing 4th, that's awesome. But he's 13. He finished 4th and went on to say, "It's really hard, super bumpy. Every time I tried to do a turn, the tail of my board just slid out. It was exciting. There were these big, long drops on the takeoff, but it was pretty scary. I'm stoked, though. I'm happy with how I did." Well, congrats, dude. That's pretty cool. On hearing about the passing of Eric Costello and about the son he left behind, skating legend Tony Hawk took it upon himself to get involved. After just a few short phone calls, word spread like wildfire. On Sunday, November 20th, Tony Hawk and several other professional skateboarders, including Corey Duffel, Ron Whaley, and Wade Spire, will hold a demo starting at 1 p.m. at the Tim Branch Memorial Skate Park in Scotts Valley, California. The event will be a fundraiser for a trust fund that's been set up for Eric's son, Taylor. Money will be raised through a barbecue, a raffle, with prizes including signed skateboard product from some of the world's top skateboarders, with the top prize being the skateboard Tony rides the day of the demo. For more info, you can contact NHS at 831-459-7800. Other skate news, 3rd annual Grind for Life benefit is this weekend. It's a benefit for those living with cancer and especially for those traveling long distances for cancer treatment. November 19th, 2005, that's this weekend, you guys. Free food, live music, and entertainment. Silent auction featuring various artwork and skate gear. The event site is the YMCA of the Palm Beaches, 2085 South Congress Avenue, West Palm Beach, Florida. There's a $10 donation to get in to benefit cancer patients. And if you want to check it out on the internet, it's www.grindforlife.org. The 2006 Yamaha factory team has been announced. The Yamaha Motor Corporation UA is proud to announce the factory race team for the 2006 World Supercross Series. Returning racers Heath Voss and Chad Reed begin their Supercross title hopes on December 3rd in Toronto. In a modern era first, the factory Yamaha team will race exclusively on 4 strokes as Voss and Reed will sit behind the starting gate in Toronto on some 450Fs. Heath Voss, with 4-stroke Supercross experience and a World Supercross title under his belt, had an easy time adapting to his new bike. "My bike was a workhorse last year, but this bike's corners tighter and faster and feels more like a 250. Chad Reed faces a new challenge in the 2006 Supercross Championship race. 4 strokes in the Premier class. And in wakeboarding news, Greg Nelson, the man behind the madness at Borders Paradise, but best known as one of the founders of Double Up and one of the godfathers of wakeboarding, and his wife, Evelyn Nelson, perhaps better known as former professional rider Evelyn Zur, have put the finishing touches on their latest project and are proud to introduce him to the public. The Nelsons' first child, Luke Roger Nelson, was born Wednesday night. Mother, baby, and dad are doing great as they ease their way into parenthood. And we here at asnews.net wish them all the best. So that's it, you guys. No more news. I have nothing else to tell you. No more names to mess up on or words to trip over. Would like to mention, come check me out on lostcherry.com. I am the Cherry Mail Girl. So anytime that you get mail in your box, you'll hear this nice little, "You've got Cherry Mail." So come check me out. Tell me how much I'm fouling up here at asnews.net. Whatever you like. It was good to be here this week. Happy early Turkey Day, and I will see you guys later.
Hello, this is Ryan Riccitelli with ASNews.net, and we are broadcasting to you out of our Gulf Oceanfront studio here in Texas. We've got a remote office, and actually today I've got Bucky Ashcraft, who he works for Reef Sandals, and he also is a kiteboarder, one of the guys who pioneered this little part of their little neck of the woods. He's actually become my neighbor. So anyway, why don't you introduce yourself, Bucky?
Hello, I'm Bucky Ashcraft, and I guess to clarify a couple of things, I think Mike Danish is more your neighbor, and I still live pretty close to you, and as far as pioneering Texas and so forth, there were a couple of people definitely that were before me. Cliff Stone was out down in South Padre way before a lot of people were looked at as, oh my God, what's this guy doing? And then, you had Peter Norby up here in Corpus, and Oliver, who owns Klein Street, or owned Klein Street. So there were quite a few people, and, I got into it at the right time when all these good people were around, so.
You mentioned Peter Norby. Peter Norby's the first guy who brought me here to Corpus Christi and actually
me too.
Showed us the way here. So anyway, yeah, and you kind of have a dream job. You work for Reef, and, I want to talk just real quick about, you're the guy who sets up, the Reef Girls contest.
For Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Louisiana, yes.
Now, I
get to do the Reef events, which include wakeboarding and surfing as well, so don't go off on too much of a fantasy ride there.
Well, but come on. Let's talk about it. Which state produces the nicest reef girl?
Texas. That's not even a debatable.
And we gotta tell you that, man. I come from California. I'm from Carlsbad. We have our office there, and Paul's there right now. Paul's in the studio.
Hey, Paul.
Paul is I keep trying to tell him, man. I love Carlsbad. I love the waves there. I grew up there my whole life, and that's where my roots are. But I've come out here to work on this project, the Corpus Project, and
Project Corpus.
And all I can say is everything out here, and including the women, are just incredible. And the wind is windy every day, and
I'll totally agree. There's not a whole lot.
You can surf.
I can totally back that up. Yeah, you can surf.
You can
in the morning.
surf. You can kiteboard. You can wakeboard. It's amazing here, and a lot of people don't realize about the surf scene. So why don't you talk a little bit about the surf scene here?
It's really, really amazing. Ironically, there are way more surfers here than kiteboarders, and we're sitting on the pipeline of kiteboarding. It's always windy, but when we go out into the waves, you see a pack of 60 guys. And they're spread out throughout the beach. But, working for Reef especially, I get to communicate with the surf community here, and it's huge. There are well over 1,000 surfers in Corpus. It's easy to say, mostly recreational here, there. I have a surfboard, I surf, but, there's a pack of about 100 guys who are very serious about their surfing. These guys go down and, when it's cold here, they go down to mainland Mexico and surf places like Pascuales and Tikla, Rio Nexpa, places like that. It's almost, to a certain extent, a rite of passage for these surfers to go and do those kind of trips and prove that they can surf bigger waves. And, their hurricane swells here, when it gets big, they really stand out. I think you got a first-hand experience the first time that I took you out here.
No, I thought I'd go out there and be like, yeah, I'm the California kid here, and I'm not like Mr. Pro guy or nothing, but I can surf, and I felt like, oh, I'll be able to just go out there and hey, man, these kids were hungry, and I got some waves, but these kids were doing aerials, smacking the shit out of waves.
Off waves that don't have lips, mush, and these guys are killing it, and it just shows, there is surf here. It's, I wouldn't say few and far between, definitely around hurricane season, cold front season, you get some very serious waves, not by Hawaiian standards or California standards, but for here, beach break, and it's amazing the amount of people that surf, and the stoke is definitely there. You won't find a more happy surfer than you will in Texas, as long as they're out in the water, they're happy.
Well, let's talk about kiteboarding in Corpus Christi and in this area. The reason why I wanted to bring you on today was for a couple of reasons. Number one, we've been talking about Buckland. We've been talking about Corpus Christi. We've been talking about the Corpus Project. And, I don't think people realize that Corpus Christi it's as good as Hatteras, if not more diversity here. Why don't you talk about the diversity?
Do you have enough time on this show?
And I'll vouch for this because in one afternoon, last Saturday, Bucky called me up, and it blows here. You can wake up in the morning, and at 9 o'clock, it's blowing 20 knots. And so Bucky calls me up. We charge down to the Packery Channel.
Surf
the ride of the surf, and it was literally about chest high for me, which isn't saying much because I'm kind of short.
Yeah.
So it's waist high to most people.
I say stomach high.
As Paul Scheibel says from Caution, he calls me the midget. So yeah, I just called myself out. But anyway,
would it be goatee high on him?
Yeah, it would have been goatee high on Paul. But and we went down there, we rode waves, and I mean I was on a 10-meter kite wound.
No, you were on a 9.
I was on a 9-meter kite
You're
wound.
on a 9.
And then to top it off, we said, all right, we got tired there, and we went over to some other spot. Where were we at?
We were at the JFK Causeway, and then you dropped into some flat water, and I took you over to a place that is, called the Slick, like the one in Hatteras. We're not too original here, so sorry, we're stealing your name, Sleazy. We went over to a place called the Slick. It's a mile-long island, literally a mile long from one end to the other, and it's almost shaped kind of like a question mark. And we were riding in the big bowl part for quite a while, racing. And
I mean, honestly, like, I have
and then we
kited
kited back
everywhere.
to the bridge, back to the flat water.
And this place, like, you would have to be a local to know where it's at. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind. You have to. I followed Bucky out there. We tagged.
You know what
probably,
it reminds me of? You remember that first article you read in Kiteboarding magazine a long time ago with Lou Simmons, and he's like, "It's not here. It's out there, and we have to go out there to get it." And that's the first time that I went to that place, and I looked downwind, and I'm like, "Holy crap! There's an island there." It only sits. There are areas where it's not more than 3 feet high, 2 feet high, so you really can't see. And the best part about it is, those big blooms of cactus, So you're there powered on an 8, a 9-meter kite, lit out of your mind, hauling butt, and, there's this island right there that you're riding right by with big old cactus and flat water and pelicans everywhere. It's just real good element of Texas, it's...
And this is all in like a square mile, and that's just like, that doesn't even scratch the surface, because since I've been here, I've ridden 5 different spots, and I could ride every day. I just don't have the time. I mean, we could ride a different spot every day, and I think, I am willing to put it out there that this is probably one of the most overlooked places to kite in the United States. And for any of you who look into tickets into Corpus Christi, you should, because this place is a kiter's dream.
There were a lot of people out when we went out the other day. What was that? There were like at least 10.
Yeah, this place is.
That was a lot of people.
This place is my nirvana, my new nirvana, and I really appreciate Bucky showing me what's going on.
Dragging you out of the house.
Yeah, he actually drags me away from my desk so that I can actually go out and kite, and actually, like I say, I'm not very good at the sports that I talk about, but I like to do them.
Yeah.
But anyway,
this place has more diversity than you can shake a stick at. If you go to any of the local kite websites here, if you go to prokitesurf.com, or if you go to kitesurftexas.com, there are maps of the riding areas that you can ride around here. And if you want flat, shallow water, you can go over to Portland, or you can go over to the Causeway at Laguna Shores or Packery Channel. If you want to go to the waves, there's 20 miles of beach to pick. We're not going to say one stretch of beach is better than the other, because it's all the same. And you know what? And one day, if you wanted to, you could ride all that 20 miles, because you could just go put your car at one end and drive the other car as far as you want to go, and stick a flag by the car and get on your kite, and then ride 20 miles downwind, and then pack your stuff up, and then go back to the flat water and ride the Slick. It's all within a 10 to 15 mile radius, and there's about that many riding spots as well, 10 to 15 riding spots. So it's all there. My favorite place is probably a place that we call the Spot, and it's about thigh to waist deep sand bottom, big bay. And then there's 2 little islands on the outside, and they have cuts in between them, and you can ride into Corpus Christi Bay. So what that enables you to do is ride flat water, and then when you get into Corpus Christi Bay, you get like a, thigh-high, waist-high chop, and it breaks on this little shallow shoal right there. And so you can hit little waves right there, and then go out beside that, and then ride chop, and then come back in another mile and go back to that flat water. So the diversity here in the same session, in the same day, is can only be described as stupid amounts of diversity.
And just like
stupid amounts of wind.
Let's to also talk about something else. I mean, there's another thing that we can talk about. Buckland. I know we've been very elusive about it, but I mean, you live in literally a on the water kiteboarder paradise with like, I don't know, knee-high water out in front of you for I don't know how far, but you have these rails, and you have we have some rails that we're going to be constructing, and why don't you talk about it?
Yeah, there are. I've actually built. We had a couple of sliders, and I took them down to South Padre for these guys to use. And Cliff Stone never did anything about it. He left this slider sitting in front of his house for a good 6 to 8 months down in South Padre Island. Can you believe that?
Man,
he just left this slider sitting out in front of his house. And so I had taken it down to him on a trailer, given him flotation and all that, and I was going to go down there and ride it, and it would be my incentive to get down there more. And he never built it, and so I couldn't take it anymore. I was sitting at my house looking at this flat water blow all the time, and so I went down there and got it. And basically it looks like a small Triple S slider. It's about waist high. A lot of people like to hit it on the wake skate. And then I have another little booter, and they're twins. They're both painted like the Texas flag. So, and then we got the Behemoth back. So that's going to end up being, right now we have 6 12-foot sections.
Which, the Behemoth is the A-frame, it's the reef rail for...
It's a reef rail that we use on the Texas Wakeboarding Tour. Yeah. And we've actually taken it now, and now it's in sections, and we're going to build some bigger legs on it. So I think this year it's going to grow a little bit, and we have another couple of rails that are being built. We also have, rails that are already in the water at places other than Buckland here.
And you're going to see a lot of this, coming out of Texas, because now that I'm down here, the problem is I don't want to really shoot as much because I just want to ride. It's like, everybody says you bring your camera. I go, no, dude, I'm kiting.
No, you need to get more sessions like that. I mean, it's the only way to keep it going. I mean, you sit out in the water too long with your camera, that's all you want to do, and then by the time you're done getting pictures, you don't have time to ride. So I'm all about you riding more, and I'm sure the readers are as well.
The cool thing too is like Ruben Lenton, he wants to come down and chill. Andre Philippe, Jason Slezak, all the boys, we've been telling them what we're doing. Everybody just wants more places, more fun stuff to do. You can hit the rails, you can go ride the waves, you can hit the flat water. I mean, whatever you want to do, that's Texas.
What do you think about the nightlife here in Corpus Christi?
Well, I have to tell you, as they say, in Corpus, everything's bigger. And I'm not talking about, like...
The women.
The women here are incredibly nice, incredibly beautiful, and they're Southern girls. And I don't know, Southern girls are Southern girls.
Southern hospitality.
I got to throw a shout-out to the Southern girls.
Yep.
So, no, everybody's made me feel very welcome in this town, and we got some big stuff planned, and we've got some really big stuff. We've got the Project Corpus, and... We're not gonna unleash it all, but just know that Bucky's in on it. Bucky's affiliations alone. We've got a lot of the local shops that are throwing their hat in the ring. A couple of the local publications that are getting into the ring with what we're gonna do, and we're gonna be promoting one of the coolest events here in April.
I don't know if you could really call it just one event.
Yeah, it's not one event. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle.
I think it's what's going to happen in the next 2 or 3 years, and then it'll really be seen. The true potential of this place is by far not harnessed yet.
No, and that's why we're here. We're here to blow this place up. This is what we will call the Third Coast.
And it's not really Corpus only. I mean, obviously a lot of it will center around Corpus, but the other riding spots as well. I mean, there's 400 miles of coastline out there, and if you open up a nautical map and look at it, you just see these riding spots everywhere, and you're like, I want to go there, I want to go there, I want to go there. Look at that place. And between South Padre and here, there's probably some of the most epic kiteboarding flat water spots in the world. It's just places like Rockport, places like Port Lavaca, South Padre Island, places between South Padre Island and Corpus, and it's just it's all out there, and there's so many elements out there that I've seen in magazines that people are trying to get around the world, and it's like, okay, we need to do that here, and it's definitely on the way.
No, that's absolutely correct. And if anything, that's what we were trying to do with this podcast today, was bring some awareness to what's really going on down here, because hey, all of you guys like to kite. All I can say is jump on a plane and get here with your kites. Bring like a 12-meter and a 14-meter and an 8. Because you never know. I mean...
Yeah, that's my whole quiver. It's 9 10, 12, 14.
I mean, there's no sense in anything bigger here, and most of the time you're going to probably be on a 12 or an 8.
True.
Somewhere in that range. This place is unreal.
My most used kite is my 10 and my 12.
And I could literally be riding right now. There's a front that just blew in. I'd be riding a 7-meter or 8-meter kite right now.
True.
And
true. It is quite windy. You see the waves outside your house right now?
Yeah, like right outside the window right now, we've probably got like 3 foot to 2 foot Gulf slop. And I'll tell you, once this cleans up into perfect surf, guys. So anyway, we got to wrap this up. I'm going to let Bucky drop some bombs for whoever he needs to drop some bombs for.
I'd like to drop some bombs out to Chad Stanley, Reef, all the crew at Reef, all the local surf shops here in Corpus and South Texas. I'd like to shoot out to the Ring Media and the Kiteboarder magazine and Best Kiteboarding.
Right on.
Thank you, guys.
I just want to take a few moments to thank some of our sponsors. We'll make it quick. First off, I want to thank Silverback Artist Management. Silverback helps us with supplying us with some of the music that we have during the fills. They represent bands Sublime Estate, Slightly Stupid, Mishka, Fishbone, Beautiful Girls, you name it. These guys, Pepper, some of the biggest names, most popular names in the dub music scene. Anyway, also want to thank Slightly Stupid. Those are our boys. We work a lot with Slightly Stupid, the Ring Media, asnews.net. I mean, these guys are straight from San Diego. They all surf, they all skate, some of them kite. These guys are the real deal. So they used to tour with Sublime. If you haven't checked out their music, you can listen to it live at slightlystupid.com, and that's stupid with 2 O's. Also want to thank Extreme Hotels. Extreme Hotels is based in the Dominican Republic. Coolest hotel I've ever stayed in. It's got a half pipe right in the middle. I mean, imagine that. It's right on a surf break. You can go kiteboarding when it gets blown out. You can surf the reefs when it's when it's not blown out in the mornings. And if that doesn't do it for you, you can come in. You can skate the half pipe, and the half pipe's sick. I mean, Tony Alva was down there, and he skated it and had a blast on it. And then to top it off, there's a sick beach bar. Man, you can drink rum all day long, eat good food. You won't get sick. And this place is paradise. ExtremeHotels.com. Webcams there, live weather cams and live wind cams. Check it out. Also, want to talk about kiteboardcalendar.com. The Kiteboarder magazine and the Ring Media produced 13-month, high-glossy, beautiful calendar. Help support the cause, guys. It's beautiful. It's really not that much money. Also, Liquid Mountains, that's the Big Wave calendar. BigWaveCalendar.com, 13 months from around the world. The very first of its kind that caters towards the tow surfing market. Eric Akaskalian, towsurfer.com. I mean, if you haven't checked out his site either, I mean, he's got dozens of photo galleries, videos, all kinds of stuff, towsurfer.com. So, also want to give a plug out to kiteforum.com. Kiteforum's just one of our partners over in Europe. He has a ton of affiliates over there and helps us get plugged into a lot of different places. Toby over there, he's awesome. He helps us along on his site. Kitebeaches.com. It's a site that caters towards, if you want to find a cool launch, go check it out. It's basically everything's written and rated by users. So if you're a kiteboarder, it's a great resource. Also want to thank ikiteboarding.com. They're our South African affiliate. Guys are awesome, helping us get the word out. We have so many people that I'd like to thank. Surfersvillage.com. I mean, there's so many people that are chipping in, and I apologize if I've missed you. You can go to asnews.net, look at our affiliate sites, look at our links. That's the family that helps make this thing go around the world. We're podcasting to over 20 countries. I get emails from people from all over the place. I just the other day I got an email from a guy from Russia who runs a site called boards.ru. And I mean, this guy he was so happy to support what we're doing, and I mean, it's great to let these guys hear the voices of Tony Alva, the voices of Santiago Aguirre, the voice of Garrett McNamara, or perhaps Lou Wayman. I mean, everybody who I interview here, they're real. Pete Cabrina, some of the biggest names in action sports. So hopefully we can keep bringing this to you live. Also want to thank the Kiteboarder magazine. The Kiteboarder magazine is actually what led to this. This week, actually, all of us here, we all run the Kiteboarder magazine. We do like 3 different things, and it's all just a labor of love. But the Kiteboarder, it just hit the streets, and then we also release an electronic version, and it's posted just about on everywhere you can find out there that we can get it posted. And we just want to say thanks to everyone who's helped us with that. NW Kites, all the affiliates who really make it happen. Kitescoop.com, FloridaKiting.com. There's so many people out there. All the shops and schools. So hey, I just want to say also thanks to all the people who've sent in the positive words, positive emails. I mean, we wouldn't do this if it wasn't for you, and we do it because of you. We're not too cool for school here. We never claim that we're like, the best or the snizzle my nizzle. We just sit here and we like what we do. We have a passion for action sports, and hopefully it shows in this show. So thanks for supporting us, and we will talk to you soon. Hello, this is Ryan Riccitelli with ASNews.net, and today Eric Akaskalian's over in Maui, and he's waiting for a swell over there, and he hooked me up with Campbell Farrell to talking about the tow surfing scene over there. And Campbell is a Kiwi, and he's probably got a different perspective of things. And so why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, my name is Campbell Farrell, and I'm from New Zealand. Been living over here on Maui for nearly 14 years, and tow surfing for about 11 of that, so I know what's going on over here.
You were there, helping pioneer it with everybody, and you've probably seen some really crazy swells over there. What is probably the most significant swell that you've seen hit, Maui?
The biggest swell, I think, was probably that one where Bradshaw got that wave out Outer Log Cabins. I think was it January 28, 98 or something. I think the buoys got up over 30 feet with 27-second periods. I mean, that day was so huge, I didn't even get in the water. I was planning to, and then I just made the call, like, this ain't for me. And even Robbie Nash and Jason Polikow, who I was going out with, when they got to Piahi, they didn't even surf, It was, the west bowl at Piahi was 70 feet that day, so that tells you something.
No, that's crazy. And let's talk a little bit about your background. You come from New Zealand. You're a windsurfer. You're more of not a windsurfer. I'd say you're a waterman, obviously. And talk about a little bit about what was your pathway to getting into tow surfing.
Well, primarily it was just through meeting the guys sailing here, and then I surfed, paddle surfed with them a bunch when we had no wind, and in particular, this Aussie guy, Luke Hargreaves, we paddled a few closeout days here on the North Shore, and time that tow surfing was sort of starting to evolve, and he's just like, hey Cam, you're ready for it, come on the ski with us, and so he taught me how, just, small 4 to 6 foot, and then from there we just progressed, and it took me, a couple of seasons before I even went up to Piahi, and then at least maybe, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 seasons of going to Piahi before I got a solid 25-footer.
Like, what did that feel like when you first dropped into your first bomb?
Oh, insane. No, it's just a rush, It's like, and you can't really describe, the moment is just so clear at the time, It's amazing. I mean, you're pretty stoked to get to the other end. At the beginning, you've got real narrow vision. You don't see a lot, but just want to make it. And then the more experience you get, your vision widens, and you start to see a lot more, and get to place yourself on the wave exactly where you want to be and be comfortable where you're at.
And with that said, you've watched this sport grow. We had Garrett on last week talking about some of the issues out there in the water, that it's becoming so crowded, and people are just not really qualified to be in the conditions. As you said, you've been doing this for a lot of time, and obviously you start to see different things as you evolve with this sport. So, why don't you talk about some of those issues?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely we're feeling the pressure here of a lot of people showing up, and everyone wants to have a piece of Piahi. They all want to, say that they've caught waves there or whatever, and, everyone has a right to chase their dreams. But it just takes a lot of preparation and experience to go and surf places like that and be safe, safe for yourself and safety for the team around you. And, today was a classic example. We had our first, sort of 12-foot swell, so we had some 15-foot peaks out there, and 2 skis went on the rocks, so it's just, mistakes shouldn't be made like that on small days, and perhaps those guys should have been down the coast.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. I mean, it's a lot bigger issue when the skis end up on the rocks. That's all of a sudden when, you start to get the legal issues into, tow surfing.
Well, yeah, I mean, too many times the ski goes on the rocks and oil spills into the ocean, and it doesn't take long, before someone goes, hey, this is not cool, So, I mean, apart from that, those guys got their lickings, and they'll probably go away and have a long think about it tonight. And, but then there's just so many people wanting to have a go. We also had issues at our launch spot this morning. The Kahalui boat ramp's closed, and so everyone has to go from this one place, and there's too many cars down there, and it just causes pressure on, everyone's feeling like, oh my God, where are they going? How come there's so many people here? And those guys that have been here a long time, we've learned to sort of, go about our way and not upset too many people. But the guys that just show up, they didn't even know that they're upsetting anyone, because they don't know how it works, and so they park in the middle of the ramp, and then when the fishermen come down, they can't even get their boat out. It's like just little things like that you can see that that's just a big pressure cooker waiting to blow.
This week last couple of days, the swell hit, and I mean, talk about what's going on over there, because my listeners, I mean, they all listen. Every Friday I put a new cast up, so tomorrow or this evening, many people will hear this. I mean, right now there's supposedly some big surf on the way, and you're over there, and you're talking about being at the boat ramp this morning, right?
Yeah.
So why don't you talk about like the swell over there in Maui?
Well, I mean, I've heard there's a swell coming Monday. I haven't been paying too much attention because I don't look at it until it's like 2-3 days out, because then you can really gauge what it's going to be. I mean, today was pretty wet, and it was windy, so good conditions to go out and get a few drops and test your equipment. When it's windy and bumpy, that's a good time to see if it's working or not. But yeah, this swell Monday, I don't know. I've actually heard it's been downgraded. So
how big was it today?
Like probably 30-foot face on the peak.
How many teams are out?
There was probably 5-6 teams up at Piahi, but there was only 3 that were towing. Maybe 4 actually at the most, and those other 2 they got clipped.
So basically, what we're saying, what we're talking about, it's a small day or it's a day and there's already some issues. So, and I know that's what we're finding here in all the interviews is like, it's like you just said, it's a pressure cooker, and a lot of times it's that people don't know what they don't know. And the bottom line, though, is like Garrett put it best, is it's going to take some people dying. And I mean, what do you think is the answer to it?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's gotten, like in the early days, we were regulated, because the guys that were leading the charge were Laird and Kalama and the strap crew, and those guys, they were our friends on land, So as they were learning, they'd pass on what they learned to us, and as we made a mistake, they'd snap on us and let us know real quick. But it was easy because we were the only guys behind them, And then as it's progressed, it's too hard for us to tell everyone. We can't take each person aside and sort of say, hey, don't go so fast, and right through here there's divers, or don't launch here, or don't park your car here, and pay respect to this and that. You just can't tell everyone. So because of those gaps, there's people out there, like I said, they're doing wrong. They perhaps don't even know that they're doing it. And but we're at the point where what can you do? You end up ruining your own day by driving around telling everyone off, and it's like, so in the end you just go, you know what, they've got to learn by themselves. And unfortunately that means there's going to be some carnage.
Yeah, for real, and I mean, what's being done? Like, what are you involved in any organizations? Are you involved in any like groups? I mean, I know that there was some stuff in the latest Surfer magazine, and there's all this different controversy. I mean, do you actively get involved, or how do you?
Well, I haven't been because I think the only group that I know are the boys that I've been towing with for the last 10 years, and those that I've looked up to, and so. To me, that's a group in itself, and while it's not official, it is to us. We all understand. We look at each other in the water, and we've got eye contact. We know exactly what's going on. To just go and join some new something.com, or to go and join some alliance of guys that want to clean up the launching problems and whatever. To me, I'm not going to join any group until that group has some history and proves that they're on the right path, So sort of trying to be Switzerland right now and just sort of sit back. We do our thing, and we generally keep our nose clean. And I'm sure a lot of people that are voicing their opinions, they're coming from the right place, but just give them time and see.
Exactly. No, I mean, with anything in any of the sports, in any of the action sports, from skating to surfing to motocross, it's just when it starts growing, that's when things start to be defined, and time is the true test. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens this year as the swells get bigger. And is there a lot of people over there right now waiting for this swell?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, there was, like I said, perhaps it's magnified by the fact that there's only one place to launch at the moment, but there seemed to be a lot of people at the Gulch, although not many went up to Piahi. A lot of them went down the coast because there's other waves down there, but it's going to be a zoo this year, no doubt. But I think, this year's perhaps going to be one of the first years that a bit more localism will be felt out there. So, time will tell.
Well, let's switch gears a little bit. Let's talk about the fun stuff, and that's like some of the big waves and some of the big swells. And you were down in Tahiti for the 10-2 swell and the 9/11 swell. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about everybody I've had on here has just had crazy stories, so tell me your crazy story.
Yeah, well, for me, I mean, it was just a peak experience because everyone has, as we know, Chopu is just such an amazing wave and definitely a benchmark. And for me to go there the first time ever on 9/11, and that was perhaps one of the biggest swells surfed, I was, in my mind thinking, fuck, you can die, this is a really heavy place. And I mean, it's an amazing spot, and the Tahitians down there that make it look so easy. They're incredible, and I was just stoked to go there and get, I think I had like 12 waves or something, and I had 3 or 4 donuts as well, but I came away from it just all stoked and amped to go back again, and didn't know when that was, but 2 weeks later we got another swell, and I went back up because I was in New Zealand quite close, and we scored it again. Doug Young came up, and it was a bit better conditions and cleaner, and my mind was in a better place. But I love Chopu, and can't wait to go back there.
You don't just tow Jaws. You've towed a lot of different places, and we were talking a little bit earlier about a place called, I hope I don't murder the name, Papapawai.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. Yeah.
How do you pronounce it? The Catlin Islands.
Catlins. It's a region in the southeastern tip of the South Island, and I mean it's kind of like a Mavericks type wave. It's really cold water, 46 degrees. There's no one around, and but it's big, and when it hits 20 feet, it starts to do its thing, and we had some good swells down there this winter, in New Zealand winter. And so I've scored that place like 4 times now, so pretty good. And the New Zealand boys down there are doing a really good job. There's like 3 or 4 crews that have got it pretty tight, and they're ripping. So we'll probably see some guys from New Zealand show up.
Well, every Kiwi that I know is crazy when it comes to like not saying crazy in terms of crazy. I'm saying crazy in terms of they have a screw loose and they're just willing to either jump the biggest tree or rock pile or drop into the biggest wave or windsurf the biggest pits. I mean, it's crazy. With Australians and Kiwis, there's something about it over there.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, mate. We're just so far south. We got I don't know. There's something up for sure. There's definitely they got perhaps something, the world is out there, and so when you get into the big wide world, that all you've done is sit and watch. You just want to, you know.
That's true. I really appreciate you coming on today and just giving us your time and your perspective into this, and we'll be looking out for you. And do you want to give any shouts out to anybody, any sponsors or anybody to say thanks to?
Oh yeah, the good Ripcool guys in New Zealand have been looking after me, and they've kept me warm the last couple of seasons down there, and so thanks to Ripcool. And Oakley too have been helping me out now too, so that's about it really. I'm just the only thing is I hope everyone has a real good, safe season this year in Hawaii.
Well, thanks for coming on today, and we'll upload this show will be uploaded tonight, and yeah, I'll send you the link, and you can send this back to your boys in New Zealand, and they can hear you talking.
All right.
All right, man. You have a great day.
You heard it. Spread the roosters, pipe it in. This concludes podcast number 12. Before we go, I just want to thank our fans and our listeners out there for, supporting us and giving us the chance to do this every week. And also want to thank our guests, because they're the ones who actually make this show what it is. And, Campbell Farrell, that guy is a really cool guy, and all of our respect to you, man, and good luck in this swell, and hopefully we can we'll have more news next week on this swell that's hitting Maui. Also want to thank Bucky Ashcraft. I mean, he really broke it down for Texas kiteboarding, and I mean, hopefully, you guys can come down here and check out and see what this place is truly about. And, like we said, all of us here at ASNews.net, we all love action sports, and we all do all these sports. I mean, even Marina Chang, that girl, I've seen her on a skateboard and a half pipe, and, she tries, and all of us aren't very good at any of these sports, but we just do them, and that's what it's about. I mean, we're here, and we know that we often sound like morons on here, but the bottom line is we're putting it out there for you, and we're trying to do something new, and I really believe that this electronic internet broadcasting that we're doing, and our RSS alerts and our all of this, what we're doing is we've built something, and we've pioneered something really just for people that are like you who want this information. So definitely check it out. ASNews.net, lostcherry.com. We're not on here just rambling on just because we get something out of this. We're just saying, hey, look, check it out. We did this because we love it, and this is like the best way that we know how to funnel all this information. So ASNews.net is run by, like I said, we're just action sports junkies. I mean, you have your baseball junkies, you have your football junkies. Well, we're just board heads. That's what we call ourselves, board heads. And just because you don't have to be a professional baseball player to be a Cubs fan. You know what I mean? And I don't understand that in action sports. Like, I mean, let's keep the attitude out. It's about a lifestyle. It's about fun, and that's what we're about here. We're just average people who just love what we do. So anyway, just thanks, and we hope you have a good week. Self-importance owns the evil it breeds, and as the river flows, the stories that it's told go into the well below. For a blackbird to swallow, Lord, don't you cry. I heard them weep. Lord, don't you cry. I heard them weep. Lord, I heard them.
Hello, this is Ryan Riccitelli with ASNews.net, and actually, a lot of you probably didn't believe it, but that's right, we're going to give away some free stuff, and I got Trip Foreman on the line, and we're about ready to call our one of our giveaway winners. So, Trip, why don't you intro?
Ryan, what's going on? Yeah, we're here at Real Kiteboarding in Cape Hatteras. The weather here is still cranking. We've been having a real good fall season, tons of wind, tons of good swell. Got another big swell on the way this weekend. And we ran that kite camp promotion with Kiteboarder magazine earlier in the year with the subscription cards, and it is the time to draw the winner. We drew the winner last night, and we have a winner. We're going to be giving them a call in a few minutes. We are running right now, Real Kiteboarding, our annual 48th straight International Super Sale. It runs all the way through Sunday. We're open up for the next 48 hours, day and night, to serve all the different time zones in the world. So we are open 24 hours a day for the next 2 days. The lucky winners for the 48th straight, we're also having a mystery invoice in that, where 3 of the purchasers in that sale will win 2 kite camps and also a Jimmy Lewis kiteboard. We're going to be raffling those prizes off. So if you're listening to this podcast and thinking, oh, did I win the Kiteboarder magazine promotion? If you didn't win, all you got to do is buy anything. You could buy a fin screw for that matter, and you might win a Jimmy Lewis kiteboard or 2 of the real kite camps that we're giving away. So check that out at realkiteboarding.com, and I'd say, Ryan, let's give the winner a call, the guy who won the free real kite camp through the Kiteboarder magazine promotion.
And you know what's cool? We're making history here, Trip. This just shows that we're the young guns in the sport. You know, this is a new school way of promoting and helping grow our industry, and I think we're onto something here. What do you think?
No, I think it's good. I mean, like you always have, when you ever get a magazine, you get those subscription cards, and they're always falling out. They're getting in the way. But for the people that want to subscribe to a magazine, especially one that's as good as yours, like it seems like every issue is better than the next. You know, our lucky winner, I keep wanting to say his name, but I'm keeping it a surprise. Lucky winner filled it out, sent it in, and he knew on the back that there was a raffle prize attached to it as well. And you know, what can I say? The guy won, so I hope he's fired up.
Well, let's call him right now. Hang on one sec. I'm gonna ring him in. You there, Trip? I got the 3-way in, I think.
Good afternoon, Central Screw. Can I help you?
Hi, my name is Trip Foreman. I'm with Real Kiteboarding, and I also have Ryan Riccitelli on the line with the Kiteboarder magazine.
Hold on a second.
Thank you.
He's waiting for you.
Oh, it's Arnott's there?
Yeah, just a moment.
Nice. Take him away from work, man.
This is Arnott. Can I help you?
Arnott, it's Trip Foreman with Real Kiteboarding and Ryan Riccitelli with the Kiteboarder magazine. How's it going today?
Good. How are you guys?
We're doing good. So we wanted to let you know live on the air with Ryan's doing a podcast on asnews.net that,
all right.
That you've won the Real Kiteboarding kite camp of your choice that you can have any time during the 2006 season.
Okay.
And we want to let you know firsthand. So we're live on the air. Ryan, why don't you jump in?
Yeah, man, I'm stoked to have you on. This is actually the first time this has ever been done in the world. So yeah, you're our first winner, and you're from Royal Oak, Michigan, right?
I am. I live in Royal Oak, Michigan. I work down in Detroit, and that's awesome. I'm pretty excited. I never win these things, so that's great. I'm pretty pumped.
And who's your local crew, man? Who do you ride with, and where do you ride at?
I don't ride with too many guys around here. I ride with a buddy of mine who lives in Ann Arbor, and we spend most of our time up in Tawas, which is up on the eastern side of Michigan. My parents have a place up there, and there's a bunch of guys. I think the place is called Great Lakes Kiteboarding that go up there and ride, and I know them a little bit, but I sort of a loner. I ride with my buddy, and I've been into sailing for a long time, but we ride down on the point up in Tawas, and yeah, I'm pretty pumped. It's great. I rode May through October. I haven't been out in November yet this year, so this will be great.
Do you get into the snow at all?
I just am getting into the snow. I've skied forever, but I made the big switch to snowboarding and picked up a board, and I'm going to get into it this winter with my 10 meter. That's my plan to go out and do some of that. So.
Well, man, we're glad to have you on here, and what we need for you to do is take your digital camera,
okay,
and have one of your friends take a photo of you and your boards, and I want you to email it to me, and that's Ryan@kbmag.com, and we're gonna follow up with a little news story in the magazine. So, what do you think of the magazine?
I think it's great. I mean, I'm sort of, my wife makes fun of me. I'm sort of into all the kiteboarding stuff. I sit there and I wait for my magazines to come, and I love it. I think it's great. I think you guys are doing some really neat stuff, and I I like the idea how laid back and friendly everybody is in the sport. I think that's wonderful. That people are just sort of out there having a good time, and that's what it should be all about. So.
Well, that's the way we feel too. So, hey, man, thanks a lot, and Trip will follow up with the details. And you got my email now, and we're going to be uploading this to the feed probably in the next 24 hours. So this will be live, and this will be going out to 20 countries.
That's sweet. Well, I'll get you guys my pictures as soon as I get done with the Michigan-Ohio State game tomorrow. So I got to do that and go cheer on my Wolverines, and then I'll get you my pictures right away.
That sounds great, man. Well, you have a good day at work, and we'll be talking to you soon.
Thanks a lot.
All righty.
All right,
take it easy, Arnott. Have a great day, man. We're psyched to have you down in Cape Hatteras with Brill.
All right, man.
I'm looking forward to it. I'll have to send you guys some questions. I want to know when the good time of year to come, and we'll get it all set up. I'm pumped to come down there. It sounds great.
Cool. And everybody, we got a bunch of guys on the staff here that are from Michigan. So a big shout out from everybody here to the Michigan riders, and also Brian at Great Lakes Kiteboarding. He's a good dude.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, No, he's a great guy, and all those guys are so nice, and they're doing a lot of great things. I mean, I just always think it's great to see all those kites up in the air down at the beach. It looks great.
There's a lot of good schools out there. You got Brian Lefevre, Great Lakes Kiteboarding. You got the Bronia brothers, Bronia Kiteboarding, and you also have Detroit Kiteboarding.
Yeah, with Kyle.
Kyle. They're all good people.
I call him Kyle the Kiter. He's who I buy all my gear from.
Yeah, Kyle's a great guy, and so yeah, man, it's cool. The Michigan crew, I love Michigan. I think that is one of the little jewels of the United States that a lot of people definitely have to go check out. So.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't have like your winds every day, but when it blows, it's great, and there's some great places to ride around here.
And I got to tell you, the girls in Michigan, yeah, my hat is off to the Scandinavian blood that has populated that area.
Yeah. Those auto companies brought a great many good people in here, and yeah, there's a lot of really pretty girls that hang out at the beaches.
Yes, exactly. Well, right on, man. We'll let you get back to work.
Thanks, guys.
Congratulations again, man.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah.
All right, Trip. Well, that concludes it, man. We did it. We pulled it off.
Yeah, another good run. I'm glad that somebody's fired up that they won. I mean, he seems like a good guy, and he's 20 years old. He's been riding for a while, and he's been seeing all his local sites. So he's gonna be able to take a trip down to Hatteras and hit the sound down here. So he should have a real good time.
Well, cool, man. Well, good luck with your sale, and we'll be checking in with you next week.
All right, 48th trade runs through Sunday. We'll see you soon, Ryan.
RealKiteboarding.com.
Later.
Bye.